Good morning, happy new year. Hang on, let me take these off. I can't hear myself. Okay. Good morning, happy new year. This is Zuri talking to you. You have found Talk Yarny to me, and we're gonna talk Yarny. It is January 2nd, and it is in the morning, not as early as I planned to do this, but early in the morning. I'm going back to work today. My son's going back to school tomorrow. We are back to the real world. Holidays are over. I hope you guys survive them. I just want to actually stay right there. One more thing to grab. Alright, I want to show you guys what I've been working on since I spoke to you last, which was like, what, Christmas Eve or day before Christmas Eve. It was a little more than a week ago, like last weekend, right? And then we're going to talk about a moment when I had to get real with myself, but we're going to show you some stuff first, because that way if I have to stop and go be a parent or a wife, I can just come back later. Okay, so only thing I have to show you guys is that I've got done is some hats, and I have one thing I started. And okay, so this hat, you guys saw the beginning of it. This is a Bag O' Day hat. It's for Bod Hatapalooza. I don't remember what it was called, but it was made with this stuff here, which was the Lion brand hand dyed. And I remember working on it and saying that it was a lot busier than I like my you know, it was pretty busy. I think overall, the overall effect is not bad. But as I was working on it, it looked like unicorn poop or something, like just colors everywhere. Sorry if that was graphic. But I do like the overall effect now that it's done. And this is with, I know it's not the lemon peel stitch, but it's that stitch where you do maybe it is a lemon. It's double crochet, single crochet, and then you alternate on the next round, single crochet, double crochet. Like, I don't know the name of it, but I think, I don't know. Anyway, that's it. And it came out good. It's a little small. I'm not even gonna put it on, but that's all right. And then speaking of a little small, this was a hot mess. So these two are also Bag O' Day, Bod Hatapalooza hats. These are, I don't remember the name of this one either. This one's from a few weeks ago. I'll try to find the tutorials for all of these. This is made with Scarfy. It's a bottom up, and we know, I've talked about it before, when I do bottom up for hats, like they always come out tight and a lot smaller. Like, so this one, it's really weird actually. So this is the first one I did. Is it? Yes. And I used the recommended hook size and the recommended counts and stuff, and obviously came out small, which I knew it would. It's a good, decent child size hat, I guess. But it's cute. I liked it. So I was like, okay, I had some more Scarfy. This is Scarfy yarn. Lion brand Scarfy, which we know is like 80% wool and 20% acrylic-ish. I had some more Scarfy, and I was like, all right, I'll do another one with a bigger hook size and and I'll do a wider count, like a longer starting chain. And that's what I did. And somehow I got this, which is even smaller. I don't know what I did or why, but it just came out. And then like it cinches at the top, which I hate. It doesn't, we didn't decrease. I don't like that. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like doing it. This one just came out with a big old camel hump. I think from now on, if it's a bottom up hat, I'll probably skip it for Bod Hatapalooza, because it just never, this is the worst one yet. This is all kind of, I don't know, but anyway, probably once somebody gets on their head, it'll be fine, maybe. But yeah, those are those, but they're done. They're gonna go in my donation. I gotta restart my donation bucket. And then speaking of that, these are just generic double crochet hats that I made with the Karen Coloramo Ogo yarn that I'm trying to work through. I think, let's see, this one's the first one I made. I made them, these ones I made purposely big because a lot of the ones I made before were, I mean, they were like, they fit me, but just a little bit small. Like, they're good tween hats, but I was like, let me make some bigger ones because they be making teens big these days. And there's a lot of people like me that have a lot of hair. So this one is just like nice, comfortable fit without it. Gets over my head, gets over my hair, covers my earlobes. That is the big thing for me without having to like pull it down. So we got these two. And I gotta weave an edge for those, but I'm just kind of running through them because they only take me like, you know, they don't take that long, so I just do them. And then this, okay, so don't judge me, judge my husband all you want. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. We were leaving church a few weeks ago, and we stopped at Dunkin' Donuts, and he looks up when I'm running in to grab the coffee, and he sees a sign, a billboard that says something along the lines of like, you think life is hard, like try going through it wearing a yarmulke or something along those lines, pretty much like kind of bringing awareness of like how it is to be Jewish, openly Jewish out in the world in these times. And so advertising and commercials are made for my husband. He is so suggestible. And so immediately he went online and found himself a yarmulke and bought a yarmulke, a handmade one. I don't think from the company that actually had the billboard up, but I think he found it on eBay or Amazon or something. It's handmade. And I'm like, you are not walking around wearing a yarmulke. And he's like, no, it'll be, I don't know. I don't know what the thought was. He thought it'd be kind of like funny or whatever. I don't know. I was like, you can't do it. That's not someone's culture. And he just was like, just so excited about his yarmulke. So it came this weekend. And I guess now, like once it came, or it came like last week, I kind of got more into his thought process. What he thought, he bought like a larger yarmulke cover, which I guess for some reason his head he thought was a hat. Like you put the yarmulke on and it's like a full hat you wear. And I was like, no, it's still just so he tried to put it on, and obviously it's bigger than a yarmulke, but it still didn't cover his whole head. He's like, I thought it would cover my whole head. And you know, so he showed it to me. I'm gonna show you. I guess this is how it came. Well, I'll just show you the whole thing. So he showed it to me, and I was like, oh, it's crochet, you know? And he's like, well, I wish it was bigger, like a beanie. And I was like, well, why didn't you? It's not a beanie. I don't know why you thought it would be a beanie. He's like, I don't know. It looked bigger in the picture. And so he was like, well, can you make it bigger? And I was like, looking at it. So this is kind of like how it came. So I'm looking at it. I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's single crochets. It's some granny clusters. Yeah, I can do that. And so all weekend he's pestering me when I'm doing other stuff to he's like, well, fix my hat. And I was like, one, it's a yarmulke, two, whatever, you'll get it when you get it. But he's pestering me. So I went through my cotton collection. I didn't match the colors exactly, but this is where we're at. So this is like a navy, a little slightly different navy, a slightly darker brown, and this is like the jeans color. Actually, remember I showed you I tried to make him a bucket hat, and it came out huge like this. So I started unraveling it, and that's what I used for the blue, the lighter blue. But yeah, so I did it. It's still tight because obviously it's a yarmulke. It's not made to go over the full width of your head. So for me, it's like if I put it on, it's really tight. It's still tight on him too, but he said it'll do. And I guess his idea was like the hats that I've made him, because they're like usually wool or acrylic, they're just like too thick, and he doesn't like being hot, but it's cold now. And so he's like, he wants to try something a little thinner. So this is it. If you're Jewish, I am so sorry that I married this man and he thinks that's funny to buy yarmulke to wear. I hope that's not offensive to you. Like, I'm very big on people's culture not being a costume, so I was just like, this is ridiculous, you cannot. But now it's not a yarmulke anymore, it's just a beanie. So if that's offensive, I super apologize on his behalf, and I try to talk him out of it. But he's the kind of man that as soon as you tell him he can't do something, he's like, I can do whatever. So it's best to keep your mouth shut. Okay, so that's everything I finished. Here's the thing I started. Hold on a second. All right, what So I told you guys that I am going to be giving a lot of attention to my knitting this year. Not saying I'm not going to crochet, because let's be real, if there's something that needs to be done like in a shorter amount of time, crochet is the way to go. Knitting just takes so long. But I don't want to use it as an excuse. Like, I don't want to be so dependent on crochet to get projects out that I don't knit because of the time. So I said I'm gonna definitely give some love to my needles. And so in that spirit, I have been working on my son's blanket, which is upstairs. I will show it to you guys next time because I have so many new subscribers, and I'll talk about that in a bit, that you probably haven't seen it. I know a lot of the old heads have seen it, but for those that don't know, it's a mosaic knit blanket in gray and navy that's kind of done in a checkerboard pattern. And it's for my youngest stepson. He asked like a year ago for me to make him a blanket, and it's taking forever because it's knit. But the other thing I started was a shawl using another one of my Hirschner's cotton millins, and it's actually the same color as I did for my aunt's shawl, which is these. If you want to see like the full way it works up, you can look at my last video, but it's the white to light blue to navy to black. And this one's going to be knit, and it's actually going to be a present for my mom for her birthday, which is in a month. I've actually never knit her anything or crocheted or anything that I think about. I think everyone else has gotten something. So, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have. So it's her turn. So yeah, so I kind of dug around on Ravelry till I found something. I wanted something that looked like it would only take one, and that wasn't dependent on like a, hang on, this is getting tangled. That wasn't a very intricate design, because these millins are a little bit smaller than the actual balls they're based off of. Like, they're probably yarn art or hobby, which are generally like close to 1,000 yards, whereas the millins are like 875, I want to say, or 825, and so they're a little bit smaller. So if you find a pattern that uses like yarn art or hobby, and it uses like a full ball or 2 balls, you're not going to have enough. But if it's something that kind of doesn't, that kind of can go like this, it doesn't require you having exactly that amount, like a very simple pattern that maybe repeats every few rows and then you can just stop it whenever you want, then it's good. So that's what I was looking for, and I found a Stephen West pattern, which I didn't realize was a Stephen West pattern when I picked it until I actually like opened the PDF and stuff. But it's a Stephen West pattern called the Boneyard Shawl, I want to say. It's a very simple stockinette stitch. That just has like some garter ridges for some texture, and I'm in the middle of a row, which I know is a big no-no, but anyway, this, ooh, you're not gonna be able to see that very well. Maybe if I shut this light off, that might be better. Yeah, so it's literally just a triangle shawl. It's got the ridge in the middle, and then yeah, every 12 rows or so there's just this garter ridge here, and it grows wide pretty fast because you increase in the middle here around the ridge, and you increase like right here around the garter border. So you put 4 increases into every row. So it's getting wide pretty fast, which is good, because that way, very similar to the other one I did. If it's small for a shawl, it can be like a triangle scarf. It's kind of my idea. But this is knitting, so it does take, you do get farther with the same amount of yarn. So hopefully, I mean, yeah, either way, it's fine. My mom likes scarves. So that's the project that I've cast on. So that's everything I'm working on. I think I'm going to cast on. So I have 3 friends pregnant right now. My friends be fertile, man. It's crazy. So the friends that I already made a blanket for, they've all had their baby. The last one, actually, she had her baby on Christmas Day. And that was if you guys remember, the yellow, it was the single crochet blanket in like yellow and gray with a white border. So that one, actually I have to give it to her still, because I don't think she had a baby shower. So I'm gonna have to take it to church and give it to her husband's been there, or her mother-in-law, not mother-in-law, they have a lot of relatives there. So I'll take it. Someone will give it. So thought I was done. No, just like about a month ago, I found out one of my friends was pregnant. She was like 12 weeks at the time. And then a couple days later, I found out another friend was pregnant right around, maybe she's a little bit ahead of her. So right around the same, in the teens, I guess. And then just Sunday, I found out a third friend is pregnant and she's like 17 weeks. So I'm like, so it's all going to be like probably May, June babies. So 3 more to go, 3 more friends. My friends be fertile. I'm like, you guys give us a break. Because I don't just do blankets. Like, I bless people when they have babies. Like, I get diapers, I get wipes, I get at least one thing off the registry. Like, generally, like, something not super pricey. Like if they ask for a stroller, I can't do that. But I'll get, like, the nice breast pump. Or, you know, like, something a little pricier. Just because I know how, like, I was so poor. We were so poor when I had my son. My ex-husband and I, like, we got blessed. So now I'm in a position to do the blessing. Like, I hook people up, and I generally will get like an outfit too, but I'll make sure to at least get one thing off the registry. And especially if it's a new parent, I'll get like the useful thing, because people be asking for all kind of stuff. And I'll be like, you don't know that you will never use this. But I'll get like the boppy pillow, or what else that's really useful? The bottle warmers, things like that, I'm like, you're gonna use this. Because sometimes it's like, I did the same thing. What did I ask for? I can't remember. It's been so long. But anyway, point being, I'm like, y'all gotta give us a break, man, because it's so expensive keeping up with you and your babies. But it's fun. It's great. I love it. I'm always excited when my friends have babies, because I think my husband, I don't think I can talk or trick him into having another one, or having one for just the 2 of us. So I have to live through all my friends. So anyway, I got to start planning that. I know one of them that I'm definitely going to do is, if you guys seen like the latest, or one of the very recent Bag O' Day tutorials, was that Dragonfly Stitch. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I was like, I know I said I'm not going to crochet, or I didn't say I'm not going to crochet. I said I'm going to focus on knitting more, which does not mean I'm not. Like, I still want to crochet a lot. But I was like, nope, definitely have to start this soon. So I'm going to do that one. I think I know exactly what I want to use for it. I think I'm going to do at least one knit blanket, since I have at least 6 months. I'm going to do a knit blanket. I remember I started a knit baby blanket using Bernat Softy Baby. I put it up and I haven't touched it in months. So maybe that will be one. Hopefully one of them has a girl. I'm going to try to be neutral though, so I can finish them quickly. And then I have, I don't know. I don't know what the third one's going to be. I haven't really planned it yet. I'm going to try to do as many neutral ones as I can. But I'll just knock out a couple, and I'll probably have some extras so they're in reserve, because someone's going to be pregnant at all times in my life. So that's what's going on. Anyway, all right. 18 minutes in, let's talk about how I had to get real with myself. So I told you guys last time that my car broke down on me, and I was waiting to hear from the repair shop. Well, they called me back on Saturday, which was Christmas Eve. No, it was Christmas Eve. It was the 23rd, with the worst news. That one, the thing you never want to hear from your car repair shop, which is transmission trouble. And they said it was going to be, they would have to completely replace the transmission. They couldn't rebuild it. It was going to be $5,700. And my car's probably worth $25. So I was like, well, I went and grabbed it. It can drive enough to get home. So I went and grabbed it. My husband followed me to make sure I didn't break down. Brought it home. Actually that same night, because it was too late to go get it that night, but I could go get it. They were open Christmas Eve, so I went and got it Christmas Eve morning. But that same night that they called me, I started looking at cars. And what I've wanted for a long time is a van, like a nice van. Even though I don't really need it, like, you know, we have space. It's very rare that we have all 6 of the members of our family like riding together, but I love a van. I want to be able to push. I want power doors. I want to push it to open the door, the button, and the door slide open on both sides, and and just the space of it. We took a van on our family vacation. It was just great, but they're just too expensive. Like, I could get one kind of that in my price range. I mean, I can afford it, but it would just be a lot. And I haven't had a car payment in 6 months. I paid my car off early, and I enjoyed 6 months of no car payments. Oh, my nose is itching. I haven't had one in like 6 months, but it wasn't gonna happen. So I was just like, I don't want to pay this much. I could find one a little bit cheaper, but you know, it was like less. It was with companies that are like known for being their vehicles being less reliable. So I did get a car. It's nice. It's a Chevy Equinox. It's used, and my payments are not much, and my insurance went down a little because it has more safety features. But the thought was, so first we put in, like when I put in the application, that night I put in an application for a car at a local lot, and I put my current car as a trade-in, just in case, like, let's see, I mean, I might not be able to get anything for it because the transmission is getting ready to go out, but you know, a couple dollars or anything. As I'm putting it in, I am panicking because all I can really think about is the bags and bags of yarn in my trunk, to the point where it's hard to close my trunk. I was like, what am I gonna do with all that yarn in my trunk? Especially if I have to like empty it out by tomorrow to trade it in. They didn't actually take my car to trade in, so it's actually still out in my cul-de-sac. I gotta find some scrap place to take it. But I was like, I finally gotta deal with, like, I have to come head on with this problem. And I had some in the back seat, actually. I had a big bag of Hobby Lobby yarn in the back seat. I was like, this is a problem. So, what did I do? So got the car. Actually, on Tuesday I got the car, and it's an SUV. So I went straight to Walmart, and I bought 4 more totes. I have tons of totes already. I bought 4 big totes. I probably would have got more if I could have found more, but I got 4. And that night I like emptied out my, little by little, I kind of emptied out my trunk and tried to organize things as best I can. Filled up those totes. They filled up almost immediately, and I still had like so much stuff. I was like, it's time to seriously talk about destashing. And so just that night, I just had to do it, because I was like, if my husband comes here and he sees like this pile of like bags and bags of yarn I emptied out of my trunk, he is gonna, like, he knows they're there. I don't think he knew the extent, and I will never hear the end of it. So I was like, I need to have a serious talk about destashing. So I went through and I emptied out, hang on. Okay, I'm back. When I said give me a second, what I really meant is give me 12 hours and let me go through my work day and feed my family and do all those other things. And now it is Tuesday evening, and we're gonna finish up. So where was I? Oh, I was talking about having to empty out my trunk of all the yarn and find a place for it in my garage, and coming to the realization that it is time to seriously address my yarn stash. Something's got to give. So that night, I was like, that was a week ago. Last Tuesday, I kind of went through most of my totes. Like, as I was putting stuff in the new totes I bought and kind of trying to organize things, I went through most of my stash. And I pulled out just stuff that I knew that I probably wasn't going to use. Either things I just, didn't necessarily need, or stuff that I bought just because it was on clearance and never got around to using, stuff that I had a plan for but no longer had any ambition for that plan. And then a lot of stuff that I bought in the very early days of my collecting that before I knew what I like to work with, what's appropriate for the things I want to make, etc., etc. So I pulled all that out. Originally, I was like, I'll just donate all this. But as the pile grew, I was like, I can't show up at Goodwill with all this or something. I was like, okay, just trying to figure out like what to do with it. And so I decided that I am going to make up mystery boxes. And that's exactly what I did. I ordered some cardboard boxes on Amazon, and I made up some mystery boxes, and I ended up only making 8 because I got like 12 by 12 by 8 boxes, which is good size. And the pile looks so much bigger when I when it was piling up that I thought, I was like, that'll fill up. Like that, I ordered like 25 boxes. And there's like still a whole bunch sitting in my hallway. But I just stuffed those boxes full. And so what I did was I opened an Etsy shop and I listed them. So I'm going to leave a link down below if anyone's interested. I'll tell you what's there, and I'll post probably right here. There's a little preview pictures I'll show you guys of some, like, kind of the top layer of each of those boxes. And these are the same pictures that are in the listing. But it's all gonna be like, I think it's all 4 weight and above, 4, 5, and 6. It's all acrylic, but every box has a little, at least a little bit of some animal fiber, either wool or alpaca, something. And there may be a few like kind of polyesters and stuff too. But it's primarily acrylic and acrylic blends. And there's at least a good like 15 to 22 skeins, balls, cakes. I think there's only like 1 cake, but mainly skeins per box. I didn't count, but I kind of was counting as I went with one of them, and it was like above 15. So we'll say like that's about the average. And I'm selling them for $30 a piece. So if anyone's interested, I will link it below. If you're not interested and you have Etsy, if you can just go and just favorite it a little bit so it can get a little bit of traction. And this is probably the only time I will ever ask you to share out my channel. Just if you can, just even if you don't want to buy any, you can just to get it out there, just so I can get this stuff out of my garage. If they don't sell, you know, whatever, I'll try Facebook or something. And if that doesn't work, I'll just little by little drop them off at Goodwill. But I did want to give people a chance to share with me. I mean, honestly, if I could do a giveaway, I would. I just don't have the what is the word? Time, not even just time, just like the I don't know what the right word is, but I'm just not in a place right now where I want to, like, I can sponsor a giveaway and follow up with it, do the timing, do the rules, do the everything. So I'm just gonna, these ones I think I'm just gonna sell, and I probably will do another round of mystery boxes maybe in a few months, like, you know, once I kind of have worked through some more of my stash. And then there's like 3 totes that I didn't get into, but I know what's in them. Like, that's got specific stuff that I'm pretty sure I will use. But then, you know, and I may have another come to Jesus moment in another few months and be like, I'm not going to use this stuff either. But it's more like staple stuff, like larger skeins and cakes, like some of my cakes and things like that. So I may come to a point where I'm like, I'm not using this stuff either. And I do another one. Like I said, I have like probably like 15 more boxes like to fill up, or available to be filled up, cardboard boxes. So yeah, so if you guys can help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll, like, you know, if you see any you like, feel free to purchase on Etsy, and hopefully we can get these gone, get them out of my garage, and move on to the next ones. And so yeah, and the other big thing, so that's that. I feel like there's something else I wanted to say about that. I wish I got this all done this morning, so I'm not like all scattered. There's something else I feel like I wanted to say about it, but I don't remember at all. So the other thing is, we have reached a milestone here. We are at 500 subscribers, and we just hit that today, actually, or yesterday, maybe yesterday. I was hoping to get it like by the end of New Year's Eve. I was at like 498, and I was like, just because it's a nice round number to end the year on. But yeah, I think I was still at 498 when, you know, at the end of the 31st. like Sunday night, but I think yesterday I went up to 500. And when I last checked, I was at 501, and then somebody, like, it went up to 501 today, and then somebody left me today. So sad, but oh well. So I'm like right at 500 right now, so that is great. I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank the new people that have joined me in the last few weeks. And I want to thank the old people and everyone that's been hanging out, leaving such great comments. Like, so many, like I had a number of people that have just been like, hey, I just found you. I like that you talk about your life and your family, which is very encouraging because I feel like I just babble. I just get on here and just be talking. And then next thing you know, it's been an hour and I'm like, all these poor people, I know they're not listening. So for those of you that are, I appreciate it. Just wanted to thank everyone. And I'll show you one thing. So in the time from this morning to right now, when I left you, I made this, and I like this. This is the Bod Hatapalooza hat for this week. It is, I think a lot of people recognize it. It is the chocolate BonBon beanie, the original 4-weight version. The only thing I did different was that I went a few extra, it felt short on me, so I went a few extra rows of single crochet down here, and then I accidentally went from a 5.5 needle to a 4 needle for the brim. I mean, not a 5.5 needle, which is what is the needle that I usually use, and it's also the needle that was in the tutorial. Usually she uses a 6, but this time she used a 5.5. And but I accidentally, when I came to do the brim, I accidentally picked up my 5mm needle. So the brim is nice and snug. Excuse this hair you're about to see. I think I'm keeping this one. I like this one. It is perfect fit. Perfect fit for me. I think this might be my new go-to hat. Just right there, gets the ears, covers the hair, all that. So this might be my hat for this winter. I like it. I definitely like it. I used this here, which is another Caron Colorama Ogo. The rest of it will become just a regular, will just be used for some regular double crochet beanies, like the ones I showed you earlier. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, this is what I did today. This is what I do when I'm like throughout my workday, when I'm waiting for my, like, not waiting for things to do, but sometimes I gotta wait around for someone to reply to a message or email. Sometimes I just take a little minute to myself and like do a couple rows. Hopefully my boss will never see this. But sometimes I do that. I also did a few rows of this guy here. So we're just a little bit further along than what you saw. I have a drop stitch too that I thought about going back to fix and then immediately gave up on that idea right here. Do you see that there? But it's like on the spine, so I feel like it's kind of forgiving. I feel like I got another one too. Is this another one? Cause I think so. I think I have 2, but anyway, it's okay. Cause you pick up your stitches like right here before and after the spine, like in like right before and right after these 2 stitch markers, and so they're kind of easy to drop, I feel like. Yeah, anyway, that is it. So I will leave a link to my Etsy shop down below. It's just Talk Yarny to me. Talk Yarny, but not with the 2. Similar to my email, it's Talk Yarny T-O me, like written out. And like I said, if you guys can go just favorite it a little bit, or if you want a box, please buy a box. I will be happy to send you a box. And if not, if you can, just this once, share out my channel or my shop or whatever. And I'll be happy to return a favor too, if you would like, on, you know, whatever. And yeah, we'll get my garage cleaned out. My husband won't have to kill me. Which, by the way, when I say that, guys, I'm largely joking. He'll be a little snarky about it, but, you know, I don't want to give the impression that I have like this weird overbearing husband. Like, he's great. He's just a minimalist. So outside of like his books back there, he don't collect nothing. He throws everything away. So he doesn't understand keeping stuff that you're not using right now. And so he's always like, well, we got all the yarn. I was like, because I do. Don't worry about me. But I'm free to do what I want. He's free to do what he wants. We both have our own interests, and then we come together on certain things. Not a whole lot. We do not share a lot of common hobby. We both like to read, but he reads way more than me because he has time to. And we don't read the same stuff. But yeah, we don't share hardly any common interests. I don't know what we're doing together, but it works. Anyway, I don't have to let him, he don't have to kill me though. And that's the other thing I was gonna say. So I am definitely gonna make, and I know I started this thing, that I did this last year too, where I said I wasn't really gonna buy much yarn, and I was great until they did the Hobby Lobby sale early, and then I was not great for the rest of the year. So 9 months of not great. I'm not gonna say that this year. I do have very little interest in bringing more yarn into this house, but there are, you know, there's exceptions. Just yesterday, I was at Michael's and I took advantage of that $5 Karen cake sale because I caught it in time this time. Last time, some lady like directly in front of me in line had cleaned them out. This year, they still had a bunch, so I got like some cinnamon swirl cakes, which I've never bought. I've only felt, so I finally was able to buy some, and I got some cloud cakes, which I have bought before and I've not used yet. But I got like enough. I didn't clean them out. They had I left a whole bunch. $5 each, but I got like 15 of them for like $75. Like I saved $120, I think, or I think I did the math. So I bought a whole bunch. You know, and they're in my new car, but they won't be for long. But yeah, I bought like I bought the ones that had like 3, maybe 2 or 3 left. So there's one color that had like 3 colors left. There's this other one that had like 3, I think, some sort of like that. So that's something I can do like a medium to large size project with, without hoarding a whole bunch. And like the reason went into a whole nother project with the cotton millins is so that I can, when they go on sale again, I can justify buying some more. So I want to start using those up. So I'm not buying yarn. I'm buying yarn, but I definitely am at a point right now for at least the next few months where I want to, I'm not that interested in bringing new yarn in. But I am interested in using, like, experimenting and using stuff that I haven't used before. Like a lot of the stuff that everything that I kept, not everything, but a lot of stuff that I kept was like, I kept all my smaller weight yarn. And I kept like all my cotton blends because and like my other fibers, like silks and things like that. I don't have a ton of that, but I have some because I have them, but I've barely ever used them. And so I don't even know if I like them or not, you know, and I think I will. I've rarely used them. I'm like, I just have all this and I just let my collection grow to the point where I can't even get to the stuff that I want to try. So, you know, if I see something new and interesting to me, you know, I'll probably get it, but I probably won't be for a while unless it's something I need. Just going out and being like, oh, this is here. You know, like the yarn rumor sale is at Michael's. And not Michael's, Joanne, and I'm just not going. But yeah, there's that, and there was something else that just came to me 2 seconds ago. Okay, the other thing I'll save this for next time because we're getting long, is I didn't save all of my ball bands I used, but I saved a lot of them. Like starting maybe the second half of the year, I just started throwing them in this basket. So I'm gonna go through and see what I used this year. Because I feel like it's more, I definitely use more this year than I've ever used before, but I don't know exactly how to quantify that. And so that's gonna be interesting to see. I'm gonna see at least how much I've used. I was keeping track on my phone, but I very quickly lost track of that. But I have some of it on my phone too, so I can also grab some data off of there. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to see how much, I don't know if I'll go into like how much yardage and all that. Maybe I will, just because it's interesting and I like the math. But we're gonna see what I did, and so then I can set some goals for this year. So maybe next time I'll talk a little bit about goals. I don't have no major thing like I'm gonna do this, and this, but I do have some plans, some stuff that I want to get out of the way very early before I get bogged down in other things, and we'll talk about that next time. But okay, moral of the story is check out my Etsy shop. Oh, last little thing. So it is an Etsy shop and it's open. Right now, the only listing there is 8 mystery boxes. Like I said, I might do some more when I get to doing like, you know, get to being realistic with myself again about what I can use. I can't say now if I'm ever gonna list like makes. I might. I don't have a ton of interest in really monetizing my hobby. I think it's just a lot of pressure. And a lot of, I don't think I produce fast enough even to like make things and list them and keep it up to date. So, you know, maybe if I come to that point, I will. Like these hats, like I wouldn't, well, these hats are so basic. I don't know if I'd ever sell them. But I, you know, like when I make stuff, like this is the only thing I could probably make fast enough to even like have a decent product or a decent amount to sell. But I much rather give them away. Like I like donating. So we'll keep the shop like after those boxes are gone. I'll keep it for a while. But you know, it's very much on the fence on whether it will ever really be a full Etsy shop, because I just like doing this for fun. Almost everything I make, I'm already thinking about who I can give it to, you know. And then between doing the things like I make because I want to, like there's not a ton of time to just make things just because I can to sell them. So maybe I'll find like some cute small thing that I can do. Like everyone's doing like little plushies and these and that's and whatnots. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever actually make a real shop out of it, but it's there for now. The door is not completely closed on it, but it's like only ajar. Okay, all right, I thank you guys for listening. Please go check out my mystery boxes, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.